Hi everyone, I'm Arabdha. You're watching Halborn Flash videos, and our star of the day is actually Brendon from CoreDAO. So Brendon, first of all, welcome to our Flash videos. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're joining us and from.
So first of all, thanks Arabdha for having us. Really appreciate
Yes.
it and working with you guys over the past few months. We did the Twitter space yesterday, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, we just really enjoy working with you guys. So thank you very much. My background, name is BrendonSedowa. I'm one of many contributors here at CoreDAO. We have a very spread out, decentralized team all over the world, truthfully. And yeah, I'm just one of the great contributors on the team.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we are always in awe of the CoreDAO dev community, and it has been absolutely fantastic working with you guys. So tell us a little bit more. What is CoreDAO all about? What's the mission and the team and the vision behind?
For sure. So it's a really cool story, and again, I touched on this yesterday, and it's something we share a lot because it's just such a cool story. But basically, there were two friends, one of which at the time, this was a couple of years ago. So at the time, one of which was an ETH maxi, with the rise of ETH and all these apps being built, and then the other was a Bitcoin maxi who was kind of worried about ETH's move to delegated proof of stake and that impact on decentralization. Long story short, this debate kind of ended up with them, the creation of Core, basically. And what I mean by that is basically the chain was created with the goal of not having to compromise on any of the tenets and really taking the best things that come from Bitcoin and Ethereum within a chain. So what do we mean by that? So basically, Core is an EVM compatible L1 chain. So fork of Geth or Geth, get all the composability, smart contracts. Developers can port over very seamlessly, easily, with great performance. And then within the consensus, that's really where a lot of innovation came from. It's called the Satoshi Plus consensus. And how that works is we're actually confirming, validating the network using Bitcoin mining hash as a key piece of our scoring model. So Bitcoin mining pools allocate their hash. Users can also stake. We have delegated proof of stake. Validators take in both of those, and we score them based on their percentage of both. So in our view, we're basically, again, taking the best parts, the decentralization security of Bitcoin with the composability of Ethereum within our chain.
Great. Wow, that was a power-packed description of CoreDAO. So you guys talk a lot about Satoshi Plus consensus mechanism, as well as how you actually find the most optimized solution to blockchains, I guess, like age-old dilemma of the triad of security versus scalability versus decentralization. Could you highlight a little bit more on how you optimize this dilemma and implement it with Core?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of it comes from that consensus mechanism, right? So I think we wanted to get away from a solely proof of stake blockchain. And really try and further decentralize that and not have a few key people owning most of the stake. So our consensus works as such that it also takes into account Bitcoin mining hash rate from mining pools. And that's not an either or scenario. So, miners are they're already doing their thing, as are the pools. We use a trustless relayer mechanism that actually moves the hash over to the validators. And the incentives are as such that they spread the hash rate around. They'll actually earn more rewards. So everything's been really thoughtful to really spread things around validators and really decentralize things and not necessarily have a few parties with most of the control.
Okay. Very, very interesting. All right, so with CoreDAO, some of the things that we noticed is definitely the interactions of the community on our channels, and in general, anything that's published around CoreDAO and community, as we know, is kind of the sentiment of all of Web3. So how does Core envision the role of community itself, and what do you do in order to onboard as well as engage with your own community?
Yeah, for sure. So our community is awesome. In fact, they were probably, during the audits, they were, I think, commenting on every post that you had.
Yeah,
It was really
for
funny.
sure.
It was super funny. But yeah, they're really passionate and excited about this launch. So the way we think about community, I think most folks in crypto do is obviously there's a lot of technological innovation. We're doing cool things. Satoshi Plus was a pretty big lift. But it doesn't matter if you don't have like a community that believes in it, or like you build a community that's really passionate about what you're building. So that's been a key focus for us from the start. So we think that communities can make or break chains almost regardless of technology. So that's why from the start we tried to really focus on building a community even before we launched. So we did that through a really cool partnership with the Satoshi app. And what that did is that's basically a mobile app that's being used to check prices, etc. Do a few things in crypto, and they've actually earned a piece of the upcoming airdrop. So in our tokenomics, we're actually going to be 25% of the entire supply, and that's a hard cap supply, by the way, is being dropped to the community. And so that's been a really interesting way to kind of build up a community before we launch, because we just take it so seriously. And it's important to say that this is really the first inning. When the chain launches, we're still really early, but we're pumped that we're starting with a community that's really excited and passionate about what we're doing.
Definitely. And from a marketing perspective, I'm just quite happy to see the growth hacks that you guys have caught out, and how important do you see community as playing a role in your roadmap and milestones. So moving on, we're talking about our work together, and I have to ask you about security. So what's your security strategy when it comes to CoreDAO? And what do you actually look for as key criteria in a security partnership with, let's say, an auditor like ourselves?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I personally I've been in tech a while, and obviously we have the mantra of like move fast, break things. When you're launching web products, mobile products, etc. Lens is a bit different, especially with an L1 blockchain. So we're trying to really be diligent on what we're building and launching, because we know that if there's an issue or a hack, etc., that's really going to hurt our credibility. So yeah, the strategy there on security was to work with the best partners, you being one of them. You guys had a great reputation, and yeah, basically really do a lot of diligence with these partners. And we took a lot of time to make sure that everything was built right, because we take security really seriously, and think that it's important for this chain to be successful to have done things right. So there have been a couple, I don't know if you'd even call them delays, but I'd say more so we took a bit of extra time to get the chain ready for launch. And the reason for that is we're really just trying to be diligent around doing things right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I don't know if that's really the strategy, but the strategy is just to like take our time and do things right. Because we also, Core isn't meant to just be like a fly by night, hey, launch it as quick as possible. We really see this as a chain that's example, we're paying out rewards, I think, for 80 years. So like we're really trying to take a long-term view on Core, and building it right from the start is important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, though it sounds simple, I guess just taking your time to do things right is really like the most important thing when it comes to building in security. Brendon, is there anything that you can comment on the mainnet itself?
Everything you could expect from a functional L1 chain will be available day one. We also have an Oracle partner in place, and a bridge coming very, very soon. So a lot of the key components are in place day one. For our users and builders. So at this point, we're just excited to bring as many builders on Core as we can. And the important point there is, since we're EVM compatible, if you're already on another EVM chain, it should be pretty straightforward to get up and running on the Core network.
Right. So thanks for sharing that. Very, very exciting indeed. All right. So to end this chat, if you could possibly, Brendon, look back at your own journey with CoreDAO thus far, and is there something that kind of pops out to you as, I wish this was something I knew a few months back?
One unique thing about Core that we don't talk about that much is we actually, we put it in the tokenomics. So we didn't do any free price tokens or investment at all. So there's literally never been a price on a Core token, nor are they available, not even now, right? They'll come when mainnet launches. So as I'm reflecting, that was definitely the right decision. We wanted to be with the ethos of crypto and not necessarily have these early price tokens. We really wanted to include the community. So as I reflect back, there's definitely some challenges with that, not having a huge balance sheet to go invest in a variety of things, scale the team crazily, and then on the partnership side. But yeah, I think there was a trade-off there, and we made the right decision. And post mainnet, a lot of that stuff's going to change, which we're excited about.
Right. Good things always take time and work, right? So, Brendon, again, thank you so much for this chat. It was very, very helpful and informative for me, and I'm sure the community will really appreciate it. This has been super, super helpful, and thank you again for the conversation.